Aye, we give you the facts. It's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
Greetings viewers and subscribers. Today's video is brought to you by the law firm Griffin and Griffin. They are located at 7726 Ritchie Highway, Glen Burnie in the state of Maryland. Zip code is 21061. You can visit them online at lawgriff.com. That's LAWGRIFF.com. Now, throughout the video, I'll be posting their contact info. At Griffin and Griffin, they specialize in traffic law, family law, and immigration law. Remember now, they can practice immigration law anywhere in the United States of America. Our in-house immigration lawyer is a founding partner in the law firm Griffin and Griffin. She has been practicing for over 10 years. Remember that if you have any question that you want our in-house lawyer, Mrs. Esther McKitty Griffin, to answer on the program, send us a WhatsApp message to 876-343-1034. That's 876-343-1034. Please send us written text. Do not send us any voice note or do not call. Also, remember, hit on the love button from now, as also share the video because this video might be helpful to someone you know. So let's chat with our in-house lawyer, Mrs. Esther McKitty Griffin.
Hey Esther, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hi, Papa. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good,
Yeah,
The weather's warming up, so
yeah.
feeling better about that.
Okay. So how has things been since the last programs? I understand your phone blowing up.
Yes, the phone has been blowing up. People have been calling. People have been reaching out. It's been a very interesting and overwhelming
hmm
response and an interesting feeling for myself. I think what it is that it gives me an opportunity to be able to give back to my community. And I think
Yes.
that's the most meaningful part of it for me right now when somebody from my hometown
hmm
can message me and say, this is my question, and I can quickly answer it, or I can say to them, let's set up a time to talk some more. So I think that's what makes it most amazing for me right now is to be able to help people that I know, that I've connected with, that I grew up with. It means a lot to me.
Yeah, man. It has been very. Sometimes some persons ask me a question, and I said, go back and watch the video because the answer is there. So that in itself has been so helpful. Trust me. It has been,
Right,
but I need
right.
to clarify something with you, Esther. Because a lot of persons you're a lawyer, that's your job. You work for a fee. I mean, you can answer some
Right.
questions, but when does it reach a consultation stage?
Okay, so a lot of persons, they reach out to me on the WhatsApp. Some of
Yes.
them, some call in, some email, it depends. However, they reach out to us. What I try to do is read their initial question
Yes.
and kind of have them tell it to me in one or two sentences. If
Yes.
it's something I can quickly answer or something I can just get back to them real quickly about, I'll do that.
Yes.
But if I find that the issue they have is going to require, me to sit down with them, talk some more, dig some more, then at that point I say to them, okay, we need to set up a consultation.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yes.
And the consultation attracts a fee. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so our consultation fee is actually $100 where we talk to you for roughly an hour.
And that's you and that's
What
US and that's
I
US
want
dollars. US dollars. Yes. Go ahead.
Yes, that's what. Yes, sorry. Yes,
Yes.
not Jamaican dollars.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Yeah, it's $100 US.
Mm-hmm.
That works out, roughly to about 15,000 Jamaican dollars thereabout.
Yes.
But if they call in, WhatsApp or email in, and they say to me, "Hey, I heard about you, through Popeye, or a friend of mine saw you on Popeye and told me about you," then they get the Popeye discount, which is $25 off that. So it's $75 US,
Yes.
or $11,250 Jamaican dollars.
And trust me, it might have sound simple, but it's a whole heap of discount. so if they call in and say Popeye or texting, they get that discount. Okay, well.
Right. So as long as they mention Popeye, then it's there.
And if I'm in Jamaica and I want to consult with you, I don't have any access to anybody in America, will I be able to pay you?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a local account at CIBC.
Okay.
And so if they contact the office and we agree that they need to set up a consultation, pay that fee, then they can go to their local CIBC bank and make a deposit to that account.
And you don't need we must tell people you don't need a CIBC account to make the deposit. You can, and CIBC, I can tell you something, it's one of the bank with the least customers per day, So you yeah, man, you can go into CIBC. No, in a pack up. Trust me. You can go to CIBC and join the line and make a deposit. So if you're in Jamaica and yes, so in Jamaica and the United States, payments can be made.
So I'm gonna say in the US, we would send them a link for them to pay by debit or credit card, or if they want to pay by Zelle, we can do that. We do Cash App. I mean, I take money anywhere you're giving it to me. I don't turn it back.
Yes.
You can make it work. That's what it is.
Okay. You have anything else you want to say before we start the questions?
No. Well, one thing I want to say, some people have reached out to me and they may not have heard back from me.
Yes.
I'm still going through some of the messages. What I try to do, I go, especially WhatsApp, I try to do the WhatsApp myself.
Yes.
So you guys have to give me a little bit of grace, a little bit of time. I take some time each morning to go through some of the messages, respond to them, and then have the office follow up. So if you've messaged the office, you haven't heard back from us, give us a little bit of time. We're still probably working through it, but you will hear back from us.
Okay.
And it's okay to give us a nudge to say, hey, haven't heard anything.
Yes.
And that's okay.
Yeah, man. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go into the questions now. The first one is the first question. My dad is a US citizen. He filed for me and my siblings. We are all unmarried and over the age of 21. Our priority date is June 2016. We recently paid all fees and submitted the required civil documents. Everything was quote-unquote accepted. However, only one person received a message stating that he is documentarily qualified. Myself and another sibling is yet to get that message. Is that an issue? Seeing that everything is shown as accepted. Another thing is that my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer earlier this year, and due to the fact that he has no one in the United States to care for him, he had to come to Jamaica while we wait for our interview date. Is it possible for us to get things expedited?
Okay. All right. So they're asking two questions from what I heard you said. The first thing was that they said the father filed for a bunch of them, all siblings. All their documents went in. One sibling out of all of them got what they call is documentarily qualified.
Yes.
And they were wondering if something was wrong while the others haven't gotten it yet. Nothing is really wrong. It is possible that they're going to get documentarily qualified pretty soon. Their cases are probably just slightly lagging behind, even though they got filed at the same time.
Yes.
Sometimes, it's just probably lagging a little bit behind.
Okay.
The second thing they were asking about getting their cases expedited.
Yes.
Because of the father's situation, since he has Alzheimer's.
Yes.
You can request to get a case expedited based on humanitarian reasons. There's an email address. There's an email address on the website, on the State Department, National Visa Center. Part of the State Department. They have an email address, or kind of like let me not say an email address. What do you call it now? Kind of like a contact.
Contact, yes.
Kind of like a contact us box.
Yes.
Right. And there you can actually submit to them a letter, maybe from the doctor or something, saying that their father, is in this situation with his health and his life is in danger due to his medical condition. And, if you have a letter from a physician, that would help greatly. And so most times they generally don't expedite a case unless a physician is saying, this is the situation, it's life or death.
Okay.
So, that's something they could do to perhaps help their case.
And the fact that he's in Jamaica, it wouldn't matter.
No, it would
Oh,
not matter that he's in Jamaica. No,
okay, okay. Next question.
that's something they'll still be able to. Mm-hmm.
I understand. Okay. I'm living in the United States and I'd filed for my spouse who live in Jamaica. The case was transferred to the embassy in Kingston, where he went for an interview. They had asked for proof of relationships where my spouse didn't save any of the money transfer receipts. Now they send an email stating that the case has been transferred back to the NVC in America. Will I have to submit another I-130 form and start all over again?
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, one thing I would love to know is when did all of this happen? I wonder how long ago this happened, you know?
Yes.
But anyways, it seemed like the person who is in the US, they didn't send any proof of the marital relationship to the consulate, the embassy in Kingston, you know?
Yes.
If you fail to send in sufficient evidence of the marital relationship, they often send the case back to the United States. So what is some of the reasons, some of the top reasons for sending a case back to the US, which is, you know, the petition got approved, the petition went to the visa center, then it went to the embassy. So they get to the embassy and they're not liking what they're seeing, they can send the petition back to the US. So some of the reasons why they send it back is for statutory ineligibility, there's fraud, missing or incorrect information, or death of the petitioner, the person who filed.
Yes.
If this petition is missing information or there's something wrong, you know, then immigration will issue what is called a request for evidence. Or if they detect fraud, they may issue what is called a notice of intent to revoke or a notice of intent to deny. It depends. Well, in this case, it will revoke because they had already approved it.
Yes.
Give them time to respond. If it is that they don't respond, you know, either timely or the response they give is not sufficient, then they could revoke that petition.
Okay.
I know my answer was a little bit jumbled. I guess why I'm kind of hesitating is because it would kind of be, I'm assuming this perhaps recently happened. And I think I would love to talk to this person more. Whoever this is, and this is your question, reach out to me.
Yes.
I'd have some more questions to give you a better answer.
Because I'm looking at something. Yeah, but I'm looking at something in the question. The person is saying that they had asked for proof of relationship where my spouse didn't save any of the money transfer receipt. Wouldn't it be that the person who is doing the petition in the state should send in those? Would it be the person here who would need to show that?
It goes both ways.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing that back up because, you know, I'm thinking to myself, at the end of the day, the embassy in Kingston was not seeing enough connection.
Yes, that's what I'm looking
between
at.
both persons with marriage because, you know, they understand that you being in Jamaica, your spouse is in the United States, you won't have certain types of joint evidence.
Yes.
They understand that. They know you won't have both names on a lease, both names on a, you know, bank account and all these things because you live in two countries. But what they're looking for other types of evidence that will still show you're a married couple. So if you're married, you know, you're perhaps talking on the phone every day.
Yes.
You know, they want to see evidence of those phone conversations.
Yes.
Like they mentioned here, the money transfer stuff. So if the spouse didn't keep it, the one in the United States should have evidence of what they sent.
Yes. You
know?
Yes.
On top of it, you would expect the spouse would visit the person in Jamaica, take pictures, go on a trip, send pictures of their send evidence of their plane tickets. You know, there's a lot of things that they could have used. So I don't know if they didn't have any of this, but like I said, I'd be curious to know more.
Yeah, man, they need to contact you. Yes.
Fixing the issue. It sounds like a quick fix, but I need more answers.
Yeah, man, understood. All right, next one. My father started filing paperwork for me, and I went and did a DNA at the US Embassy, and everything was okay. I got a correspondent after the DNA came back and matched, stating that the petition is in process with the case number and all the information about the filing. That was 2016, and we haven't gotten any more details since. Do you know how long that normally takes to get any feedback? Also, at the time, I already had 2 kids, but they weren't added on the application. If the papers somehow come through, will I have to leave them or will they be on it automatically due to the fact that they are under 12 years old? Or would they have to be added for them to be processed? Also, if somebody was initially filing from prior years, got married in Jamaica and changed his or her name before the filing came through, what issue can that cause for the person being petitioned for?
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, well, if I
All
question.
right.
Yes.
So if it's a big, if it is a big bite, we're going to take smaller. We're going to take smaller bites at this apple. All right. So they said the father filed for them.
Mm-hmm.
They said something they did it DNA, right?
Yes.
They said,
Yes.
and all of that, and that was
2016.
yes, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to take some notes as you were talking.
Yes.
All right. So first of all, if your parent is a U.S. citizen
Mm-hmm.
and you're an unmarried adult,
Mm-hmm.
the wait time is about 7.5 years
Okay.
from the parent filing that petition till you get an approval.
Yes.
If you are married, the wait time is about 15 years.
Okay.
If your parent is a green card holder and you're unmarried, the wait time is about 6.5, 7 years. And I'll have to I'm telling you this from memory,
Mm-hmm.
but there's actually a website. There's a visa bulletin, so every month those wait times kind of change. In fact, this month, April, the wait times changed a lot for certain categories, and I'll go into it just quickly to say, if you are married to a green card holder
Mm-hmm.
for the past about 6 or 7 years, the wait time for the spouse of a green card holder was the same like a U.S. citizen, where it would basically get approved within 6-7 months, and it goes to NVC, and you get through.
Mm-hmm.
Those days are over.
Yes.
Since April, there's now a backlog again.
Wow.
And if my memory serves me right, the wait time is now about 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
You get married to a green card holder right now,
Mm-hmm.
it'll take about 2-3 years for them to give you a visa number
Mm-hmm.
to start the immigrant visa process. But anyways,
Okay.
what did the part of the question ask me again? They said something about about the time, and
yeah.
then they were asking something about they had kids.
Yes. If the kids can be petitioned, yes. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they can add the children to the application to
Okay.
get them the visas, and it's not a hard process.
Okay.
So it's not, they won't be added to the petition; they'll be added to the immigrant visa application.
Oh.
The fact that they're on the 12 is really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's no automatic addition for any child. You have to specifically add the children to the application.
Okay.
So they could be derivatives,
Okay.
what is called, of their parents' application.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were asking about some name change.
Yes, married and name change. If that's a problem.
Right. So that's not a problem. People change their names when they get married,
Mm-hmm.
So all they would need is a court order, whatever it is, showing the name change, and immigration will just give them the visa in their new name.
Okay.
So it's not a problem. As long as they have proof that their name was legally changed.
Okay.
Not that you just wake up this morning
And decide to change it.
Your last name.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
You got to show the proof of it.
All right. Next one. If the person filing for you died after you have done your medical and about to go to interview, will there be an issue with the embassy?
Okay. Yes. You can still, well, I wouldn't call it an issue, but yeah, you can call it an issue. Yeah, the bottom line is the person who filed for you is known as a petitioner.
Mm-hmm.
The petitioner is usually also your sponsor.
Okay.
So for you to get all the way to the embassy, it means your petition was approved. So that part is not an issue anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you need a sponsor to be able to come to the United States with that immigrant visa that you get at the embassy.
Mm-hmm.
So if the petitioner has died, the main thing you're going to need at this point is a substitute sponsor.
Okay.
And yeah, that person usually can be it has to be a green card holder or a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
That can show that they're earning enough to be able to file an affidavit of support for you.
Is it earning enough or have enough in the account? Persons normally ask.
It varies,
Okay.
There's actually a table. So it's based on how many people are in their household.
Yes.
So, a friend of yours can be a sponsor. For example, say your friend is earning 40,000.
Yes.
And it may sound like he's earning a lot, but then your friend has a wife and 4 children, which makes his household size 6.
Okay.
And then they add you to the household, so that's how it's done. Turn it into 7.
Yes.
But look at the table at immigration, and immigration may say if you have 7 people in your household, you need to be earning 50,000. And at that point, your friend not making enough.
Oh.
They can't help you.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of tricky.
Yes.
You have to really kind of assess.
Yes.
Based on how much the person earns and the size of their family.
Okay. Another one. What if I enter the United States illegally 30 years ago? was detained at the airport, spent 2 weeks at detention center, went to court, and was subsequently deported. Now I am being legally petitioned for. Will there be a problem?
Look at it this way. The way the law is set up is basically most cases after you've been deported,
Mm-hmm.
you usually have to wait a minimum of like 10 years before you can ask to come back.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So you basically request permission to re-enter.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that somebody has filed for them is pretty good. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still going to have to file a specific form with ICE.
Mm-hmm.
It's the form I-212, I-212, asking for permission to re-enter.
Oh.
I find that these cases are still tricky simply because they have that immigration history.
Mm-hmm.
So even though they have, and it also depends on who's filing for them, but it's doable in most cases, but all these things are very, fact specific. So somebody like this, there'll be a lot more, I'd have a lot more questions to say, okay, to kind of get to the bottom.
So
of
this
it.
somebody like this,
It will be enough.
yeah, somebody like this would definitely need a lawyer.
Yes, they would definitely need a lawyer because you would not be able to just walk into the embassy.
Yes.
Go for your interview and they just say, okay, kind of thing. No, they're
Yeah.
going to probe simply because he has immigration history.
Okay.
No matter how, even though it was 30 years ago, they're still going to probe. So it's better if they had an attorney. Way
Okay.
better.
Okay. Another one. My dad has a green card, but he hasn't traveled in several years. He does not want to live in the United States. He just wants to visit.
Mm-hmm.
How does he go about trading the green card for a visa?
If their father, I'm assuming, he hasn't traveled in several years.
Mm-hmm.
So he's remained out of the U.S. for more than a year.
Mm-hmm.
So if he tried, for example, to travel right now, the CBP, the Customs and Border Protection Officer at the airport, would probably assume right there and then that he has abandoned his LPR status and take away his green card. I've seen it happen a lot.
Okay.
In fact, recently I had a friend coming up and they were out of the country 2-3 months, green card holder.
Wow, 2-3 months?
And the officer was just looking at the person's travel history and was about to take away the green card.
Oh.
So they are very strict about that. So in his case, he hasn't been here in a year. They probably would just refuse him entry.
Okay.
No, he can't just trade in the green card and get a visa.
There's a process, yes.
He can file to officially give up his green card. There's a specific form for that. And then he can apply for a visitor visa just like, the regular person.
Yes.
He might, the visitor visa is quite discretionary. So he might or he might not get it, but he more than likely probably would get it.
Mm-hmm.
They would probably say, based on his history, he's good enough to get that's not good enough. I don't think it's the wrong term.
Yes.
But what he can also do, he can keep the green card if he doesn't want to go that route and apply for what we call like a re-entry permit, which kind of allows him to enter the U.S. for a visit.
Yes.
Even though he's going to be like staying out of the country for so long. So some people who are green card holders and they travel a lot, they end up doing that for the seasons in their life where they're doing all this traveling.
Okay.
They kind of applied for a re-entry permit. That's something the father could consider.
Okay.
But maybe if he doesn't want to come back here at all, then, fine, and maybe he can just relinquish it, and be done with that.
Yes. All right. Next question. Yeah, man, I understand. All right. Next question. I'm a green card holder. I had a federal charge some years ago. I received time served and 1 year suspension. I want to know if I will have an issue filing for my citizenship.
All right. So, filing for citizenship. Some people call it naturalization.
Yes.
Also, to naturalize, you kind of have to show good moral character.
Okay.
For the 5 years before you would file this application. So 5 years prior to filing the application, you want to show that during those years you have good moral character. Now, good moral character, it means like you haven't really gotten into any trouble, you haven't committed any crimes or done anything that would kind of look bad on you, if that makes sense. I don't want to use,
Yes.
kind of rambling a little bit.
Yes.
Now, if the charge is more than 5 years old, that helps. But the officer can still look at those old charges, and that's the thing. And some crimes, no matter how long ago, they never really forgive them. I mean,
yes.
If you're convicted of like murder, for example, you're probably will be permanently barred from naturalizing, you know?
Yes.
Same thing if you're convicted of like an aggravated felony after, 1990. Or if maybe you lied to the government to get some kind of benefit, you told some lie on some application years before or something. Those things can prevent you from naturalizing no matter how long ago it was.
Yes.
It can be an issue, but in many cases, it can be overcome. I've had clients that have come to me with different things on their record. Some things happened, 10, 15, 20 years ago, and I've had to go and dig it up,
Yes.
get a certified disposition of the crime, and take it to the interview with us, and then to argue to say, the client has rehabilitated. They're not the person they were, back then. So it may be an issue, but in a lot of cases it can be overcome. But it depends on what the crime was and
Yes.
all of that.
Because the person didn't say what the crime was.
Right. And so that's the thing. Crimes can be so fact specific.
Yes.
One little thing will make it a different sentence, all kind of things. So
Yes.
it depends.
All right, next one. My uncle lives in the United States. He worked for the US government for many years. Now he's sick and can't take care of himself and would like a relative from Jamaica to come and care for him. Is that possible? The person do not have a US visa.
All right. So I talked about, I think one of the questions you asked before was something I mentioned about humanitarian.
Yes.
I talked about humanitarian before, but okay, so this is kind of similar.
Similar, yeah.
So they have something called humanitarian parole. And they offer, humanitarian parole is one way to bring somebody into the country. So in this case, it'd be, I'm assuming that this uncle is probably a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
They say they'll work for the government, right? The U.S. government.
Yes, for many years, yes.
Right. So that's a pretty good thing. They have to show that this uncle's medical condition, requires a kind of personal care.
Yes.
And that only the person who he wants to bring up is capable of giving that kind of care. And it's not as far-fetched as it may sound. Sometimes it's a matter of, that particular family member knows how to deal with the person, having lived with them probably years before, or maybe a culture thing or whatever.
Yes.
But there is a way to get people humanitarian paroled into the country to be able to take care of a sick family member. Sometimes it happens when somebody up here might be having some type of major surgery and has no family member here to help take care of them. Those relatives in a foreign country can sometimes get a visa to come to be able to help that person after the surgery. So this is kind of a similar thing. It'll be kind of similar. So that's an option they could look into, humanitarian parole to bring that person in.
Okay, understood. Because I was thinking about the person working, but it wouldn't be coming into work, right? It would be coming to care for a loved one.
Right. So that would have been made explicitly clear at the time of application that this is why they need to come in.
Okay.
To come and care for this loved one.
For the person. Okay. All right. Next question. My wife is in the US, a US citizen, along with my children. She had filed a petition on my behalf a couple of years ago. I was denied in 2018 because I had a previous criminal record, which was expunged prior to the time. But I was asked if I had any previous conviction, and I answered yes, and I was denied. They had granted me a waiver on the basis of my wife facing financial hardship. After providing all that we were asked, I was again denied. This has caused strain on our marriage and young children. Can you have the immigration lawyer give some expert advice as to how we can go about this? Because my wife wants to submit a new petition.
Okay. So it sounds like that person is in Jamaica and the wife is in the United States.
Yes.
The person is in Jamaica.
Yes.
So like the wife applied for him twice and then get denied twice.
Yes.
And he mentioned something that he did a waiver.
Yes.
That he got a waiver.
Yes.
Was the waiver approved?
So I got a waiver on the basis of my wife facing financial hardship. And it said after providing all that we were asked for, I was again denied.
So it's not very clear if the waiver was denied or not. But it sounds like either the crime that he got expunged was very violent or dangerous, or something along those lines. But I would need to know a lot more about his history to figure out why he got denied, because having a U.S. citizen wife
Mm-hmm.
and having some type of immigration history the way he has
Yes.
would make him a very good candidate for a waiver of an inadmissibility.
Yes.
And it's interesting that that waiver would get denied if that's what he's saying.
Yes.
I definitely would not recommend filing again until they have consulted with an attorney
Yes.
and got a good answer as why they were denied the first time. Maybe it was a simple mistake they made that can be quickly corrected, but I would recommend filing by themselves again.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
they need to talk to an attorney about that.
yeah, because maybe they're going to submit the same thing and on the same basis they're going to be denied again.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Right, because on the face, it sounds very fair, like across the board, kind of like, textbook kind of case. I'll be like, oh, yeah, do this, but something happened.
Yes.
Something happened that would have caused a doubt twice. That's weird.
Yes. Okay. But another question, Esther. Let me find out something. And when the person is being petitioned for, right? They would ask, is there something on it that would say, have you ever been criminally convicted?
Okay, so that question does not come up until it's time to fill out the immigrant visa application form.
Okay.
The form DS-260.
Okay.
When a family member petitioning for you, that doesn't come up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The petition is only about the relationship between you and the person. That's what that form focuses on. Kind of ask address history and if you've ever been here. But when it comes to the person who is being filed for their criminal history, if they have one, that comes up on the visa application form.
So if the person put on the form, I have none, but at the interview the person said yes, I did have. That's a problem, right?
Yeah, man, that's a big problem.
And
they probably notice.
Yes. Because he's saying that I was asked if I had any previous conviction and I answered yes. He didn't say anything about filling out the form. And well, because I've seen persons done that. I've seen persons done that. They write on the form no, but then at the interview they said yes and they were turned down. I've seen that.
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We have been married for 24 years. My stepson is living in the United States and has petitioned for my wife, his mom, and myself. I have a criminal record from the year 2004. Was convicted and given a 1-year sentence, suspended for 18 months. I have made the expungement application and awaiting the result from the Ministry of Justice. Can you say how long this process will take and if I will be excluded from the petition, as all the paperworks have already been submitted?
If he's asking how long the expungement taken in Jamaica, it can take more than a year, that's for sure.
Yes.
It's taken longer even during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So it's possible that, his wife's case may proceed with ahead of his.
Yes.
Kind of thing. He has something else on his case that she doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
He might be able to just kind of go all the way through.
Yes.
So at that point, yeah, because even though is one, the stepson, he said, filed for the two of them.
Yes.
It would have been two separate cases. They probably just run together at the same time because they were filed together.
Okay.
So since they're two separate cases, the wife case might go ahead of his if his thing does not come back in time.
Yes. Okay.
If his expungement does not come back in time, yeah.
Okay. All right. Another one. My spouse is an American citizen. He was born and raised in Jamaica, but he got citizenship from his mom, who is an American citizen. He got his citizenship over 5 years now, but he spends most of his time in Jamaica. What can he do to get his kids in Jamaica their American citizenship?
All right, so I'm going to assume these children are in Jamaica.
Yes.
Never been to the United States.
Yes.
Okay. Citizenship, a lot of Jamaicans are in a situation. So it's actually more complicated than it seems.
Yes.
There are many ways to either acquire U.S. citizenship at birth or to derive citizenship later in your childhood. So you can either acquire at birth or derive later in your childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So it matters, if your father, if a U.S. citizen's father has a child born out of wedlock with a Jamaican mother, and has the father lived 5 years in the U.S., 5 or more years in the U.S. before the child was born, and it's a number of things.
Mm-hmm.
if it turns out that after we've assessed it, the child is automatically a U.S. citizen, then you get what is called a consular report of birth abroad.
Okay.
And you can apply for that at the consulate. There's one in Montego Bay and there's one in Kingston.
Yes.
And it's basically a U.S. birth certificate for those Jamaican-born children.
Oh.
But you kind of have to ask a lot of questions to it's not just an automatic thing.
Yes.
Little things have to, because you have some children. I'm going to give you a quick, short example. That's to drag it out.
Yes.
You could be born in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Like at age, born in the United States, live here for a year, and then your parents take you back to your home country.
Mm-hmm.
And you've lived there all these years, and now you're an adult and you have children. Those children would not automatically get citizenship from you because you left the U.S. at a certain age, and you were not living here after the age of 14. This is a rough, short example, so I don't want anybody to fully quote me, but my point is, not because you're a born U.S. citizen makes you automatically pass it on to your children.
Oh.
We have to really kind of ask more questions to kind of determine, do your children acquire it at birth or will they derive it?
Okay.
So it depends. There's a lot of questions to ask here.
Okay. All right. I entered the United States through Florida on a U.S. passport 23 years ago. I was caught and sent back to Jamaica on the next flight. My son is now a U.S. citizen and want to file for me. Do you think I will be denied?
No. We'll be dropping part 2 tomorrow. Do not miss it. I am sure this chat was very beneficial to a lot of you. Don't miss tomorrow's episodes. And coming up, we have a whole heap more in store for you. Blessed love, everybody.